Hey, Ron here with my Bitcoin Gazetteer. Wanted to share with you some of the amazing eye candy that is being produced to analyze Bitcoin transactions, like this globe here. I'm spinning it myself right now. Usually it wants to spin itself to follow transactions in Bitcoin. Where there is a transaction, it puts one of these orange blocks, and it makes the block bigger or smaller depending on how much Bitcoin was exchanged. And you can see this is a fairly mesmerizing display. We have a perfect storm here with Bitcoin, with data, internet, programmers, hardware, geeks, and passion mixed together here to really produce some useful and attractive information systems. Yeah, poor old Africa, not getting much love, at least not in this program. We'll show you another couple of programs that kick out similar data and find that they're a bit hemisphere specific. Lots of data in the corners on this. Top left indicates the person who solved the last block. Here at blockchain, where all the data from these transactions is collected, that block would be the top one here in this list. All the transactions happening are down the left side there in real time. And then you got all these links for other data, graphs, information going on here. Like this one, which shows the breakup of the major mining pools that are solving the blocks. This blue one up here, that's the Ghash guild that supposedly is taking over Bitcoin. 30% of the last 48 hours, a little less than 30%. Sometimes it changes with BTC guild for being the largest. And 4 days, smaller yet. So you can see that no one's running the internet Bitcoin situation due to the size of their pool. A lot of those are peer-to-peer anyway, pools where you can't really manipulate them. One of the other neat graphical interfaces on blockchain is this site, which shows nodes, and each bar, each spike is a node. The taller the spike is, the more traffic it's putting through. We're on 48 hours right now, so these nodes were all active in the last 48 hours, and this is the amount of data they're putting through. You've got to look closely to see the actual continents versus ocean on this globe, but it's a nice display. I mean, you can see the amount of action going on here. Look at the states over here, a perfect grid work laid out all across us, even out into, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, not so much. Down through Central America into South America, there's still a lot of Bitcoin action. South Africa and this little spot out here in the ocean are the main things going on in the African continent. They got a long way to go with their internet coverage. But Europe is booming across through Russia and then over into Eastern Asia. You can see that this is a worldwide phenomenon out into the Pacific Ocean. Now these are the miners, and you can see that there's your Ghash. It's the major one as far as traffic, if not actual size. I believe that's BTC. It might be Eglius. And all the others hashing away. There should be one up here in Iceland too that's making some noise these days. Rooting for that one with the free hydro and the cool air. And these are the nodes that are currently active serving the system. Every one of these nodes has a complete list of the blockchain. All the transactions ever done on Bitcoin is recorded simultaneously throughout all of these nodes that are online, and then they have to catch up. If they go offline for a while and come back online, they'll download that data. So this is how many backup copies of the data of transactions is being stored. So the transparency level of this system is just absolutely incredible. The amount of data analysis you can do, tracking the different coins, analyzing the transactions, the exchanges, the IP addresses. I can click on any one of these exchanges. It shows me roughly where that transaction took place, IP numbers that it came from, the sender versus the receiver, if they got any change back. I can scan that code and send them some more money if I'm so inclined. It was a one-way transaction, and this is the taint. The taint is an indication of how much of a trail was left. 100% taint, 100% trail. This was a trackable transaction. Most transactions are like that unless you really go out of your way to hide them. And if there was any change due back, because you always spend your entire wad of Bitcoin every time and get your transaction change back, so everyone even knows how much Bitcoin you have in your wallet. Very transparent system, and there's all your transactions in real time. You can track the yin-yang out of them. But you can see with all this data why you want these graphical interfaces. This transaction just happened less than a minute ago. All these nodes have already recorded this transaction. It's written on all of their drives. You can see it in satellite view. You can see it in terrain view, so you'll know if your Bitcoins are on the other side of a mountain. There's just eye candy and data here galore. Now this is another site that tracks this kind of information. Different interface, and as you can see from the flow of Bitcoins going into China there, this website favors the southern hemisphere. So it's good to have more than one of these types of sites going on. There's no way, I'm going to just enlarge it a bit for you, there's no way you could track all this information off the blockchain list going by. These graphical interfaces give you a sense of what is happening real time in the community in a sense that you can comprehend. So all of these are your currencies. The Bitcoin comes out of the currency it was bought in and travels to its destination country. Here is a running total of all Bitcoin transactions as you're watching. In green under the red numbers there, you'll see a cumulative total in each currency, and that purple number under CNY and now under JPY, that's the current value of Bitcoin in that country or in that currency. That will update all across that chart if you watch it long enough. You can see that most of the continents there are in this gray area. That means they're in the night. China is just in mid-morning. Apparently, China likes to do its Bitcoin transactions mid-morning. And that yellow dot there off Indonesia, that's high noon, that's where the sun is. A lot of data going on there. The data on this site tends to concentrate on fiat currencies. The data on blockchain really likes to focus on exact transactions and nodes of Bitcoin itself, and a nice general overview over here. And cool, a new block detected. I mean, someone has solved one of the algorithms. That exchange, that node, just got to write the block, and they collected a payment of 25 Bitcoins for helping them run the system with their hardware. And that's the motivation for all of these miners and nodes to be in existence and devote the hardware and the bandwidth and the hydro necessary to run the system. And that will continue for another 100 years or so. 2140 they figure, until all the Bitcoins are mined. And then it's just going to be because everyone's using it. As you can see, China does not show any of that activity on this globe that the other globe did. It's all Europe here and coming across from the US, and you can see the globe's trying to turn itself as it tracks where these transactions are happening in real time. I could watch this for hours. So I hope you found that interesting. It's certainly more pleasant to look at than my face. And you might want to scan a couple of those URLs up from the top in my address bar and check them out yourself. Thanks for watching. Ron's Bitcoin Gazetteer. We will talk to you next time.